I'm George Wrighster. He's Ralph Amsden, and this is College Football Apostles. We got a lot to talk about today because Quinn Ewers was offered $8 million to stay in college football, and he went in the draft. Okay, yeah, right. And Arch Manning, can he actually live up to the hype at the University of Texas? And Deion Sanders is supposedly possibly taking the Dallas Cowboys job. What does that mean for Colorado? What does it mean for the Cowboys? And Ohio State versus Notre Dame national championship. We got to talk about that. And the rumors about Bill Belichick's contract. I'm George Wrighster. He's Ralph Amsden. Make sure you hop in the comments, like, subscribe, get notifications, and share. All right. So we're going to start with Ralph. There was an article that came out, and I want to make sure I'm quoting the person. So this is by Chip Brown over at Horns 247. Here is the title of the article. Sources. Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers turned down $8 million NIL transfer offer in deciding to enter 2025 NFL draft. When I first read that, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be a prisoner of the headline, right? Let me go into the article. To sum up the article, he they said he made roughly around $6 million last year, right? Oh no. Sorry. Over the last 3 years, he's earned about $6 million since he's been in Austin, okay? Which is a lot of money. And they said he's projected in between a late first round and a third round pick. Now, I have not heard any first round projections on him. I've asked multiple scouts, and these dudes are usually right. And the bottom of the first round, $13 million guaranteed, fully, like all of that. Top of the third round, 6.4 total over the life of the 4-year deal. So I'm like, and supposedly, according to Riley Dodge, his high school coach, Texas was the only place he wanted to play college football, and he wanted to leave Texas in good standing. So you mean to tell me this dude turned down $8 million? The same guy that went to Ohio State for 30 minutes to pick up $1.4 million, that same guy turned down $8 million when he's not going to be a first round pick, and he's still a junior, got a year eligibility left. Make it make sense, Ralph.
Well, I can't because of math. The numbers are the numbers. It doesn't make financial sense if it really is putting a price tag on your love for the University of Texas. Then maybe he does go down as a legend, and I think a lot of that's going to depend on how Arch Manning looks. We'll get into that in a little bit.
So how does that
But
make sense, though, Ralph? If this dude loves Texas so much, but Texas don't love him back like that, they want Arch Manning to be their starting quarterback next year. Everybody wants Arch. Quinn was going to be done no matter what. Arch was starting. So you're gonna be this noble and turn down this type of money to somebody who ain't even gonna have you back as their starter anyway? Come on, man. Get get the hell out of here. Get the entire hell out of
hey,
here.
hold on now. That's that parental love. That's that Christian sacrificial love. That's that unconditional love. This
Man, stop.
you're pushing aside some of the highest esteemed values of humanity, that you don't have to be dependent upon how somebody else feels about you in order to treat them the way that you want to treat them. Maybe Quinn Ewers is a Saint Ewers, maybe.
So who's offering $8 million? That's the part I can't figure out. Let's say Miami, who notoriously will overpay to get what they want. If they paid Carson Beck $4 million, who's paying 8?
Yeah, that's true. I like that you said that about Miami. Like, the people who brought us the cocaine markup.
I mean, I just don't. I like who are some teams that you think that their boosters would pony up $8 million for? And I know that people are gonna sit here and tell you, oh it was Oregon. I can stand in the paint and tell you with every ounce of my body, it was never Oregon. It's not Oregon. Oregon is completely happy with their quarterback room right now. They have Dante Moore and Novosad in there. At the point in time that Novosad decided to stay, there was no even potential for a portal quarterback. None. Like people have no idea how happy and pleased. Like there is more excitement in Eugene about Dante Moore than whatever the hell Texas has about Arch. I'm letting you know that right now. He's not on any of the lists in terms of the quarterbacks that are going to win the Heisman next year and all of this. But you will be completely flabbergasted. They're gonna be like, "Where did this come from?" Everybody in Eugene know it's the best kept secret. Like when Marcus Mariota was going to be the starter the year after Darren Thomas took the team to the national championship, or it was either the national championship or the Rose Bowl. Oh no! It was actually the national championship because it was in Phoenix. Because I was talking to Chip Kelly and I was talking to the running backs coach Gary Campbell, and I was like, "Oh man, we're gonna be good again next year with Darren coming back." They was like, "Slow down, buddy. Darren's not gonna be our quarterback next year." I was like, "What?" They're like, "We got this kid, Marcus Mariota." I was like, "Come on, man, you can't put this dude that took you to the national championship." You'll see. You'll
All
see.
right, so I got to play Wrighster translator here for everybody who thinks that you just went insane. So here's the deal. There definitely is not, if we're just going pound for pound, there definitely is not the same level of excitement for Arch Manning as there is for Dante Moore because the Arch Manning hype is 4 years deep and it's highly irrational. What you're talking about is the difference between muscle and fat, right? Like you believe that you have a rational level of excitement for Dante Moore to step in and continue to do what Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel have done under
Yeah.
Dan Lanning. Um, and you believe, or I certainly believe, that the hype around Arch Manning is irrational. Like most people excited about the backup quarterback, because backup quarterback's always the most popular guy in the whole fandom, right? Because it's an unknown, and maybe door number two is an even better door number one, right?
That is
So I
entirely
personally,
possible.
I am not an Arch Manning believer, more of a doubting Thomas type. Got to see it to believe it in a lot of circumstances. And the way I feel about Arch Manning in Texas is the stakes were very high the last couple of years. And if he was the better player, he would have been on the field. It wouldn't have been like a
No,
just
see,
hold on, hold
okay,
on,
I'm gonna
hold
let you
on.
finish.
Oh, you think University of Texas runs on sentiment? I doubt that very much. I think that Arch Manning, who looks good in like much like Dylan Raiola, and I'm not comparing him to Dylan Raiola, but much like Dylan Raiola, looks great in practice. He's athletic. He tore up some not so great competition in high school. Raiola didn't do that, but like tore up some not so great competition in high school. He got a good arm and all that stuff. But if he was the better quarterback, he probably would have been out there instead of just bringing him in to run some Ashton Daniels, Justin Lamson like QB run packages. You're telling me that you're going to go out there, you're going to risk the future and the golden arm, tell him to rush around the edge
Okay, okay,
against SEC opponents.
okay.
So I just wanted to throw that out there for people who are like, oh, George Wrighster's insane, saying that Oregon fans are more excited than Texas fans, because they definitely aren't. If you're just saying like amount, but what I want to let people know is you're saying that like Oregon fans have a rational expectation of what they feel is going to happen next.
Yeah,
Not that he should have been on the field instead of Dylan Gabriel.
correct, correct. One, yes, yes. I'm glad you put that through the Wrighster translator filter guide thing. Okay, so now to go back to what you just said, Ralph, I do not believe so. I am a little bit more of an Arch Manning believer than you are. Okay, now
To do
because
what?
he came in and he played well this year. Okay,
Okay.
and remember they got in that Georgia game. that was the moment that they were going to switch quarterbacks. They were going to switch quarterbacks in that Georgia game when they brought Arch in, but when he couldn't get anything going, they were like, "Never mind, we'll we'll stick with we'll stick with Quinn." So so on one hand, there is rational expectation for him being a good quarterback because he's come out and he has played well. Okay, can we agree with that?
I
But
guess his stats this year against SEC teams with a winning record of no touchdowns, no interceptions, -1 yard rushing. I lied. I lied. He had 14 yards rushing against Texas A&M on the road. He
okay,
is definitely the next Cam Ward for sure.
okay. So here's the thing. Believe um I do not believe that this is going to be a Jackson Arnold following Dylan Gabriel situation at Oklahoma. Okay, like I don't believe that Archie's going to go out there and just and I'm not knocking the Arnold kid because he just transferred out. He may turn out to have a really great career there. But
You
I'm
could have
saying
picked him
where
on
like the
Kansas State, but
bottom,
you picked him
the
Oklahoma.
literal bottom of quarterback play fell out. You know what I mean? The
Yes.
bottom fell out to where but I do feel like it's a where they're like he's a surefire #1 pick after next year. It and and there are a lot of people that even questioned why Arch was still at Texas.
I'll
That,
question it right now.
why?
Two things. If he is the future of quarterbacking, he would have been on the field. And if he's the killer that everybody says he is, he would have left instead of spending 2 years on the bench.
I Ralph, I completely disagree with that. How? I,
It's maybe the University of Texas is Helen of Troy and everyone's just in love. Quinn Ewers did Quinn Ewers didn't want to have his Texas rep. Maybe got it, sat down, had a conversation with Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey got in his head, said, "You'll be a legend forever. Don't go put any other school color on again," because he obviously went to Ohio State and came back. "Don't put any other school color on. We'll take care of you for life."
what
Maybe
if
he
they're
got
paying
in
him to not
Arch
transfer?
Manning's head too.
What if they're paying Quinn Ewers not to transfer? Like so
They
if
get
they're
like they
like,
gave him a parting gift.
yeah, what if what if they're saying, Quinn, we love you. Arch is our next guy. You got to go to the league. Yes, you did get an $8 million offer. You're going to be at the worst a third round pick. Let's give you $2 million to just go on your way to bridge the gap a little bit.
Wow, like the reverse bag man. Um,
Yes.
huh.
Damn,
That's an
that's like treating
interesting
you like a hooker. Like I'm paying you to leave.
paying you to leave. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's an interesting way to look at it. But I got to tell you, if because the programs that would have had the money to bring him in, you know, um, in Alabama, maybe Kalen DeBoer is like, hey, I might not have this job anyway after next year. Like we might as well throw everything at the wall. There's Notre Dame. Notre Dame has developed a reputation of going and getting who they think the best quarterback will be, mostly out of the state of North Carolina. You have Georgia, I guess, in kind of a weird situation where they just lost Carson Beck.
Mm.
There's some teams out here with a little bit of money, but they all have that like prestige. If he's really like a Tim Riggins type, like Texas forever, um,
See,
then maybe that would make it a little bit easier on him. But that
see,
we have no
I
evidence that that's the
understand
case.
him staying, right? I understand him being a dog and staying. And the reason why that makes any sense to me as a quarterback dad is because players who played in the league, their kids, from the guys that I talk to, typically have a little more patience and a little more reality for how things should probably go. If you're Arch and you redshirted your freshman year, you played a teeny tiny bit. You come back this year because Quinn's out after this year, no matter what. you get to play significant time because Quinn got hurt, but the whole plan was for him to play no matter what. And then it's your job the next year. That's like a natural level of progression. Red shirt, play a teeny tiny bit, some mop up duty, and but the majority of time it was oh my gosh, the kid that went to Duke and now is at Malik Murphy.
Right.
So you play a teeny tiny bit as a freshman. Redshirt freshman year, you played a decent amount. He started what 3 games and played other times during the season, and then the next year start. That's like a natural quarterback progression. I would be
Yeah,
okay with that for my kid. Like I would, yeah, I would be okay with that if he were at Texas for that situation. 100%. We're expecting him to start this year, so that's a whole different situation. But yeah,
you know what? I mean, maybe he'll be fine. I'm just saying that like we see this all over the country. If you have somebody who is playing and the person behind them can run, if you have somebody who is playing
yeah,
and they're playing well, not not out of this world great,
yeah,
not Joe Burrow's senior year at LSU, not Jaden Daniels' senior year at LSU, but they're playing well, and the person behind them can run a little bit, then it gets real weird because every single time that quarterback gets sacked or can't move around in the pocket, you imagine that the person behind them can do everything plus run.
yeah,
That's automatically where your imagination goes, right? Well, I mean, we just watched Arizona State do this with Jaden Rashada and Sam Levitt coming in, and they were like, "Man, I don't know how we're going to be at offense." And this is the coaching staff, not necessarily the fan base. Coaching staff's like, "I don't know how good we're going to be on the offensive line this year. It's going to be maybe a rough go for whoever we put back there. Maybe we should go with the best athlete." So
yeah,
fans aren't insane for thinking this way. They're not. They played video games. They know that it's a little bit easier when you got a running quarterback back there. But like I personally, I believe that Texas fans are going to have a little bit of a rude awakening and they're going to realize just how good Quinn Ewers was. And I also believe it's your boy, Bo Nix's fault that Quinn Ewers is going to the NFL instead of cashing the largest check possible
why,
for next
why,
year. Because Bo Nix was to some recruiting services, he was the number one quarterback coming out of high school. To others, it
okay,
was Spencer Rattler. So it was between Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler. Bo Nix had, and you were one of his bigger critics while he was at Auburn, right?
yep,
He grew over time. He got the experience, and then when he got picked in the first round, everybody made fun of the Broncos.
yes,
They said the Broncos picked up a check down merchant, right? What people didn't know, what people didn't know about Bo Nix is he spent 2 years in high school having everyone tell him he was going to be a first round pick, and then eventually put in the work in college to get to the point where he earned that, right? So Bo Nix was like the number one, in some cases, number two quarterback coming out, five
okay,
star, expected to be a first round pick, didn't live up to the hype as a freshman because who does? And then eventually got there, right?
yep,
Quinn Ewers might be the highest rated quarterback to ever come out of high school.
yes,
He
yep,
also, so there was this battle between Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence to see who was going to be the number one quarterback when they came out. And after that whole thing was settled, and I can say this because I'm aligned with one of the ranking services companies. I run a website that's an affiliate of one of them. When that happened, it was such a boon for like what people tuning in to see these quarterback battles. Quinn Ewers was positioned as like, do you like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields? Like you thought that was crazy? You got to see this kid. He's even
and
better.
I saw him throw the ball when he was in high school. I was amazed in person. Now, because he's
So
got a
what could this
crazy
just be?
arm.
So could this just be him looking at like Bo Nix and be like, I mean, we had very similar paths. We earned our stripe.
Bo
He
Nix
took
exhausted
Texas.
every bit of his eligibility,
That's
and
true. That's true. But Bo Nix went to the playoffs as a rookie quarterback in Denver. Like, would it be so crazy to think that Quinn Ewers has a similar self-image? We heard him say this the other day. He's like, I know my worth.
I don't think it's crazy that he has a similar self-image, but the actual image that Quinn Ewers is not going to be a first-round pick. He's not. And this is an irresponsible. Well, granted, I'm a guy who left early, right? I had a second round grade when I came out. That's good for a tight end. So it was time. It was time to go. And I knew our team was going to be bad the next year. But I this sounds not very believable about 8 million. Maybe Ole Miss, maybe Notre Dame would cut that check for over 5 million, but I doubt it. But you brought up the can Arch Manning live up to the hype thing. What would
He
it
can't.
take for Arch to live up to the hype? Like, what would he have to do to live up to this outside of winning a national championship?
He would have to break the pocket, take off around the edge, and jump from the 20-yard line, do 3 flips, and hit the corner of the pylon on his first play of the first game next season to get people to be like, oh yeah, he's on the right path.
So if he comes out in his first game, let's pull up Texas schedule. So, man. So if he, I'm trying to think what he could do to like satisfy everybody's,
They
thirst.
open at Ohio State.
So if they lose that game, it's already toast.
It's gonna be tough. They host
But then they
San
get
Jose
San Jose
State,
State,
UTEP,
UTEP,
after that.
and Sam Houston, and he's going to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns in all of those games. And then they
Maybe
play.
he only threw for 325 against Mississippi State this year.
I mean, but he's playing San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston, and then he's got at Florida, which is going to be a tough game. Oklahoma, whose defense is tough. At Kentucky, defense tough.
Which is hell.
Yeah. At Mississippi State.
He'll kill them.
Vanderbilt. At Georgia. Arkansas. And Texas. Dude, their SEC schedule again is super favorable. Oh my God. Oklahoma people are probably screaming.
What are you talking about? Their schedule's favorable.
I said their SEC schedule is favorable.
Kentucky on the road and Georgia on the road?
Kentucky stinks.
Not at
I'm
home?
not saying it's not a tough place to play, but they're going to be out coached and outplayed.
Maybe it was Kentucky. You said Kentucky, and now I'm like, who would overpay for a quarterback? Because they've been doing that.
Yes, that's a good call, buddy. That's a very good call. Yeah, this is not a
Devin Leary year.
Bro, they got Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt, and they play Arkansas. Arkansas is obviously
Whoa! Vanderbilt with the return of Diego Pavia.
Stop.
What you got against?
Somebody left a comment on a YouTube video recently about the Commodores. They were like, "Yo, this team could be the one that they could actually turn out with their money and donors and everything, be the powerhouse in the SEC one day." Like, slow down. All right, next thing up, Deion Sanders. Things are heating up about him leaving Colorado and potentially getting the Dallas Cowboys job, Ralph. I am initially, so what I was told from the same people that told me he was leaving Jackson State to go to Colorado before any media person put it out.
Which you hated. You hated that move.
Yep.
At the time.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I would hate him leaving Colorado, but I get it. Like, this is the transactional economy that we live in. You are all in until you're not all in.
But much like Jackson, you don't want that.
No,
you don't want that. No. I don't want that either.
I like Deion in college. I want him to keep growing and building, but he got other plans. If he gets a chance to coach his son,
did you hear what he's doing for the NFL draft?
Yeah, dude.
They're doing it on campus.
Yes.
They're
So
keeping Shador on campus and letting the students celebrate with him.
yeah. So and they wanted Travis Hunter to do that too, and Travis was like, "Nah, buddy, I'm going to the draft. I'm going to go hug the commissioner." And I get it. So they wanted them both there, but Travis was like, "No, sir, not me."
Yeah,
And
Travis has other concerns. He can't take his girl anywhere in public without 50 million internet sleuths analyzing her every move.
oh, it's
So,
gonna be worse at the draft.
no,
Yeah,
they've been the draft stuff, the Gia Duddy stuff. I remember all that, but
yeah.
maybe he'll be able to hide somewhere.
So so I do not want him to take that. And mind you, Dion is operating as he's staying at Colorado. Like this is not one of them half in, half out deals. He is operating like he is at Colorado. Now, the thing that I won't blame him for is that if he gets the Dallas Cowboys job and he gets to coach Shador in the NFL, bro, I would leave anywhere to do that.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Get a chance to see my son every day, coach him and everything. Bro, ain't no way I would turn that down. No chance. So so initially what I heard was from those same people is that Dion is in negotiations with Colorado on a brand new contract. And he wants more leverage in the situation to not only make more money but get more power because of how much attention he's brought to Colorado. The admissions are up. Donors are up. They're charging more in feet. Like he's bringing like more
What
to the
more
GDP.
demands besides money? What more demands could Deion Sanders have? Like, let's come up with a real like what he's already the emperor of Boulder. Like,
Yes.
I'm being honest. Like, what is he? He's gonna go. He's gonna go to the like Colorado Board of Regents and be like, "I want Jay Norvell fired."
Oh my God.
What does more power look like for Dion? That's all I'm asking.
Um, I don't know. It's probably internal. He'd be like, if I say something, just say yes. That's the, that's the that's the level of power that Dion wants.
He wants to ice out Ralphie's horns.
Oh yeah,
Like, I'm just trying to figure out like what is it? What is it he can't do right now? He's a god there.
yeah, yeah, yep. So yeah, so so is this so? Let's say he left Colorado, right?
Okay.
Where does Colorado turn? Because they have now gotten. Wait, hold on. We have grown accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
We are talked about in the national media every
Yeah.
time. We are front page news. Our stuff goes viral. Like this is like they will experience what the Cleveland Cavaliers fans experienced when LeBron left. They went from media obscurity, nobody talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron comes, front page news every single damn day. They moved Brian Windhorst basically to Cleveland just to follow LeBron around every single day and make sure that there was news, updates, everything about LeBron every single day. He left, and they were like, that's why they were so mad and burning jerseys because they were like, we go back to nothing. You left us with nothing. They were like Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale when she lit the stuff on fire.
Well, I mean, that'd be a good way to save face for like a Lincoln Riley.
Mm, no, 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 no.
Well, okay, hold on a minute, hold on a minute. Of course, he would want to get fired because we've created a situation where like there are no more like losing situations for some of these coaches based on what their buyouts would be.
Yeah,
Like everybody's trying to become the next Jimbo. everybody's like the secret most famous quote in coaching circles has got to be Coach Orgeron. Like, which door do you want me to leave out of?
Yes. Yeah. Which way you want me to go and which way? But the problem is Lincoln Riley. Boulder is a great place to live, right?
Yes, it is.
If you like living in the snow and the cold. Have you seen Lincoln Riley's house and his digs, bro? He lives
Well, that's
over
what
a
I'm saying.
cliff.
If
He
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 gets
has
bought
a
out,
view of the ocean.
if he gets bought out, he could take the jet home
Bro, ain't nobody
every day
buying
after
him out.
practice.
Ain't nobody
Every day
buying
after
Lincoln
practice.
Riley out. He would have to leave under his own volition. He is USC's head coach unless he decides to leave for at least 3 more years. Period.
But you just talked about maybe they gave Quinn Ewers the bag to go. Like maybe USC is like, hey, we'll like match whatever your Colorado contract is. We don't want to see you around here anymore. But I'm just trying to. I think Deion has done enough. Because look at Jackson State. Nobody talks about Jackson State anymore, but they stayed relevant within the SWAC,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this is
So
true.
I think he's done enough for Colorado to where it's going to pay dividends for them for a decade. I think they'll be able to go out and Rick George will get somebody as long as it's not Kenny Dillingham. Kalen DeBoer might be available after next year. He's a good coach.
Man, they not firing it. Man, that's still too much buyout money. He got $100 million. They
My
not paying
assumption
$80 million in buyouts, bro. It's not happening.
after
Alabama's not Texas A&M.
once Jimbo got fired, I just started assuming that everybody's got $1 billion.
Yeah, no, no, no. Now let's get on to the national championship game because this is important. Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame has no chance, according to everybody. I picked them to be in the national championship before the season started. People called me ludicrous. They called me crazy. I had them playing against Oregon. Oh, Oregon's not going to be that good. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, your boy is locked in. And then when the bracket came out, I was like, oh, hey, Notre Dame. Yes, yes, yes.
You doubled down. You doubled
Yep.
down.
Yeah. And I
And
still
you're
feel
not like me. You're not like me. You won't. If the ship is going down, you'll look for a life raft. I'll stand on the hull being like, it's gonna be fine. Look, 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 look.
no, yes, you know me. I will jump off a sinking ship quick.
Yeah, so you got the opportunity. You got the opportunity to say that to go with anybody but Notre Dame. Once the bracket came out, you doubled down, and then you pretty much said like the winner of Oregon Ohio State's going to meet Notre Dame.
Yep, felt great about it. It was just the wrong damn team. But anyways, why didn't Ohio State play like they did against Texas against Oregon? That's a 20-point win for us. So anyways, all right. So first of all, let's get our pick in. I'm picking Notre Dame in the upset. Who are you picking?
I am rooting for Notre Dame. It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick against Ohio State
It
right
definitely
now.
is. It definitely is.
It's really hard, but um, they were. One of the things we talked about last year is they were top 7 offense and defense in the same season, which will get us into talking about Brian Kelly. And I don't want to go too far into that, but this year I think they're 6-2,
Yeah.
like 6 in scoring offense, 2 in scoring defense. They just have it going on both sides of the football. Marcus Freeman is a great leader. I keep thinking back to that video of when he got announced as a coach.
Yes.
Like those players were cheering harder than I was in the stands at the Peach Bowl when ASU went up 7 in overtime. Like
Yeah.
for one of their coaches to stay on. Like they believe in him, they run through a wall for him, which is hard to foster that in in a pay for play, in an openly pay for play environment. And then you've watched player after player go down on this Notre Dame defense,
Yeah.
and everybody that steps in is ready.
Yep. Yep.
That's very tough to do because sometimes the only way to get ready is to drown a little bit and then start kicking your feet. That's not what's happening to them at all. It's like shark's teeth with them. One falls out, another one pops up. So
Yeah.
I really want this Notre Dame team to be rewarded for what they did over the last 2 years, cumulatively. And I'm separating myself. I've never been a Notre Dame hater. I've never looked at them the way that a lot of people look at like the Cubs or
Dude, I
just because they were
loved
on
Notre
people
Dame
like
growing
them.
up. Loved Notre Dame because I was a huge Rocket Ishmael fan.
Me too. Big Rocket Ishmael guy. His son played at Wyoming, so I rooted for it. And when Wyoming got his son, I freaked out. Same for me. I think Jerome Bettis.
Yep.
Like they, but I will say that my mom's entire side Irish Catholic going back forever, so it was kind of natural that they were always on. But I'm not a fan, but I'm also not just a hater for no reason. And they have been like it does catch up to them eventually, being softer, not soft, not soft, softer than some of their high level opponents. That's just not the case anymore. These dudes are nasty, and then they got my guy Jordan Clark in that secondary.
Yeah.
Benjamin
See,
Morrison, one of my all time favorite high school football players. He's injured for them, but man, I love this
see,
team, and
people.
I want them to win. I'm not sure they will, but I want them to.
Yeah, I would say that I'm there. And Marcus Freeman, I think, is a brilliant defensive mind. And Notre Dame is the type of team they drag you down into their type of game and they just whoop on you, bro. They just drag you down and just and and then you're like, what do I do? What do I do? And then you start doing stuff you shouldn't normally do, and then all of a sudden you're in a rock fight. This game is going to be a if this game turns into a rock fight, Notre Dame has won. They have won the game if they turn this into a rock fight. If
Can I
this,
ask you a question that will maybe illustrate exactly how you feel about Marcus Freeman?
yeah,
Okay, keep everything the same.
all right.
Everything. Flip the head coaches. What's your prediction?
Ohio State in a huge blowout. Huge blowout. Because
Is that anti Ryan Day sentiment or is that confidence in Marcus Freeman? And also, is it telling of who you think has the better roster?
probably all three of those things. And I'm not anti Ryan Day. I think that he's just got to prove that he can win in the biggest moments. Because
He did last year against Notre Dame.
see, here's the thing. But what was that him winning, or was that Notre Dame's fault for only having 10 men on the field? So
Well, yeah, that gets into is Marcus Freeman the coach that we've all put him on a pedestal to be?
so here's the biggest question, Ralph, is so Ryan Day, I see, and it troubles me because on one hand, Ryan Day is the guy, um, like he's and I'm gonna be careful with the words. Is that I obviously think he's a very good coach. Let's preface this. And so what I'm getting ready to do is called a shit sandwich. So in business, they tell you when you have to deliver some bad news, put some good news on the front, put some good news on the back, and put the shit in the middle, and you make a shit sandwich. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. Ryan Day is a very good coach, very good recruiter. He's done a great job. When I watch, see, I watch people's faces, their energy, and all of these things. This is part of the reason why Ohio State has lost games to Michigan so many times. It matters so much. Have you ever seen a player that it mattered so much to them that then and they never like they put in all the work, they do all the right things, and then when the big moment comes, he can't get it done or he doesn't play well, right? And a lot of that had, and it's not for lack of talent, lack of want to, lack of preparation. They just don't know how to loosen up and not be tight in those moments. And that's why he's lost the Michigan games. And I've seen him in the playoff in that first game. Who did they play the first game?
Ooh, Ohio.
Tennessee. Then they played Oregon. But it's been times this season where he has looked happy, right? And then
Yeah.
stuff start like he's smiling on the sideline, and and then something goes wrong. The game gets tight, and he's like, and then he's happy again. So it's that wave of emotion that messes with your team. Once he learns how to be steady as the ship, I mean steady as no matter what the waters are around him, they will win a national championship because they are very, and if he can do that, they will beat Notre Dame. But it's all about him and his leadership, and where if he can keep the team relaxed and calm and not because they're going to feed off of his energy. If the coach is tight and nervous and changing the way he talks to the team during the meetings and stuff like that, they recognize that. You got to be same every single day, no matter whether you've lost 2 games, whether you lost to Michigan or like we'd be like, we're gonna tighten up our bootstraps now. We just lost. Nah, you gotta keep the same way the whole way through. So that's where I think that Ohio State's, that they can get it done, but it's on Ryan Day. I would just trust Marcus Freeman to do a better job of that.
Yes. They both, I mean, yeah. There's more. It's weird because it feels like there's more on the line for Ryan Day than it does Marcus Freeman. It feels like there's more pressure on one side, and maybe that's just what comes
Yes.
with the
No, no,
favorite
no,
and
no.
the
There
roster.
definitely is.
You and I talked about all year long, like I believe that Ohio State should have gone into the season as the number 1 team. I believe that talent-wise, this defense is one of the most stacked that we've ever seen. The defense for the most part has lived up to the expectation. There's been a couple of times where the offense is hit and miss, but the offense has also been very, very good. They both have just loaded staffs as far as talented coaches on the offensive and defensive side of the football. Um, both coaches got crazy facial hair. This is the Wooly Willy game. Remember Wooly Willy?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna let you Google Wooly. I'm gonna let you Google the Wooly Willy toy. Was this not a thing in your household?
Woolly Willy or Willy Willy?
Wooly Willy. Wool, Wooly, Wooly Willy. For Marcus Freeman's hairline and Ryan Day's beard.
Oh God, that is hilarious.
They both got great attention to detail. Kids today don't. Kids they probably. I mean, they probably have like a Willy Willy app or whatever. Man, kids today don't know what we did when we were bored.
Oh my God.
Giving a bald man a fade with magnet fragments. But no, I just think that man, these are they've proven to be the 2 best teams. I feel like there's a ton of pressure on Ryan Day. You've mentioned it a bunch of times. It's just going to be a matter of how he handles it. But they both got such good staffs that the real truth of this is,
Ralph, you can't see it, but I just put a picture of the Woolly Willy where you could drag the. I didn't
yeah,
know what the name of it was. Where you can drag the stuff. Oh my gosh, yes, that's because I've seen people like, what type of shoe polish is he putting on his beard? And Marcus Freeman, the same thing for that hair.
yeah. Every time they walk into a room, it's like people who have no impulse control. Marcus Freeman walks in the room, they're like hairline.
Dude,
They just say it all night.
it reminds me of Coming to America with like the soul glow. Like you can or dating a chick with a spray tan, bro. You can't let her in the bed with your white sheets.
You think Ryan Day got black pillowcases?
Yes, dude, he got to put his shirt on like this.
Oh my
And
gosh!
look,
You know
hey,
what?
hey,
You know what
hey,
the
and
best part?
and when he's got to put like a napkin in his, like when you, like either that or he puts the beard on after he gets dressed, and then he's got to put like a cape on in front of
If
him.
he was to okay, if if he was to shave right before the game, I think Ohio State might lose by a million. I think all his players would be staring at him. He's one of those people that can't shave
Yeah,
ever.
no, no.
Like I don't think he would be. I don't think you would recognize him.
It's like Travis Kelsey without the beard, bro. He loses a billion aura points. Um, all right, last thing up, Bill Belichick and his contract. They have been discussed at nauseum, Ralph. Bill Belichick's going to the NFL. He hasn't signed his contract, and I'm like, slow down. Sharon Moore didn't have a signed contract till like 5-6 weeks into the season, and they were bad. So people are like, I wonder if he's going to get fired. He hasn't signed his contract yet. There's two parts to signing to signing a college football head coach. Number one, you can't even work on the campus if you're not under contract. Like, he's already involved into the university system. They've done his background check. They've done all of the necessary things that you have to do that the state requires for you to be working there. He's already done all those things. Then there is a contractually, there's two parts. There's a memorandum of understanding which is signed, which is all the deal points, all the big deal points: money, recruiting, budget, staff, money, uh, who makes what decisions, and all of these things, bonuses, everything is in there. And then there is the actual contract. So the memorandum of understanding is probably going to be like 2 pages long. And then, which is what contract should actually be, right? But then there's the legal jargon. Oh, well, here are the dates that you're due buyout money. Here are the days that if you leave, here's what happens if there's a sexual assault case, and then we have to fire you for the like, all of the legal jargon will turn this 2 page thing into like a 50 page thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the 50 pages is getting worked out. There's no rush to do the 50 pages. The 50 pages gets done when the 50 pages gets done. But the memorandum of understanding is legally enforceable. Yes, there does create some gray areas within that until but it's generally understood and accepted until you get the contract finished.
And my guess is he's going to have some pretty unique things in there
Yes.
that are going to take some discussion, like no double dating with the players. I
Who
wish I
are
was
you?
kidding, man. His girl is younger than Cam Rising.
That's a good point.
His girl is younger than like half of the top 10 quarterbacks last year. So
It's just the I do understand we are now technically sort of in the off season. So these things are, and then the NFL hiring cycle is going on, and everybody wants to throw Bill Belichick's name out there. If Bill
what
Belichick
did
was
that
getting
Raiders thing
an
didn't help.
NFL job, he would not have accepted North Carolina. They have a good idea of, if you're going to hire Bill Belichick, you already know you're going to hire Bill Belichick. You see what I'm saying? Because he's coached
Yes.
for so long and he interviewed so many places last year. They already know if you want to hire Bill Belichick or not. You may not know whether you want to hire Marcus Freeman or not, or Sark, or anything like that, or any of these other college football coaches that are doing secret interviews. But that's a whole nother story.
Okay, but you can't float something out like that and then get mad every time someone links Dan Lanning to something.
Nobody asked you to make sense right now.
Okay. All right, but I will say this. First of all, nobody in the NFL. So the Raiders thing was very strange to me because we've heard that maybe there's not a rift between Brady and Belichick, but Brady left for a reason. He spent his
Yeah.
last couple of years in Tampa for a reason. But the truth of the matter is, half the owners in the NFL hated Bill Belichick for 20 years.
Yes.
And maybe that hate flips when you then have something available to you.
Yes, when you're desperate, yes.
But but most of the people looking to hire a coach have a GM in place.
Yes.
No GM is going to say, let's hire the guy who's going to replace me, because that's going to be a demand of bringing
And
him in the
Bill
room.
Belichick is gonna essentially like he's gonna want roster control, and he doesn't need roster control. He's
No.
proven he cannot build a roster outside of Tom Brady.
So here's what's interesting about him being at North Carolina, and I think it's fun and good. I want him to stay there and coach as long as he wants to coach. Um, Michael Lombardi. Michael Lombardi is essentially his GM, and Michael Lombardi is the one that's out here refuting these reports. Well, sort of refuting these reports that like the contract is unsigned. He and Michael Lombardi said the NFL is not an option. Why do people keep trying to like
What do you mean
pick
why?
this
Because
scab?
he's the most winning coach of all time, and it just makes sense. It's a good talking point.
Right. Also, Michael Lombardi spent the last several years before he got this gig as a professional scab picker. And I know this as an Arizona Cardinals fan that like he was willing to say whatever rumor existed out loud. So he's got to know, Michael Lombardi's got to know that his job as like the Baghdad Bob or whatever for Bill Belichick, he's going to be, people are going to be very interested. I mean, just look at the stuff Deion Sanders has had. Some days there's not much to post about.
Yeah,
And so you got to like, you got to kind of
you got to
create a
be
thing.
creative.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of creativity around North Carolina football. And Michael Lombardi's going to he's just going to have to deal with it. And he should know, as somebody who was, you know, uh, in that position doing that job, trying to just make people interested in random NFL stories um, for the last few years. So, I don't know. But I do think I would love for this to be put to bed as soon as possible. I'm so over the moon excited about Bill Belichick in like the ACC. This is one of those things that we talked about. And you and I were on different pages when Colorado first made the hire. I said George Kliavkoff should tie himself to Deion Sanders and bring him to every negotiation. And
Mm.
you were like, that's not necessarily how this works. Now looking back, I don't think Deion Sanders could have saved the Pac-12, but it would have been
It
worth
would
the
have been
effort.
worth the try, buddy.
And
I know somebody that works with him, and they were like, "Hey, man, do not bring your wallet when you go meet with Dion. Do not bring your wallet."
and so that's how I feel about Bill Belichick. He might save the ACC.
Yeah, definitely possible. And you guys, that is the college football apostles. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe, again, get notifications, tell a friend, and we will catch you guys later.